I've got the World of Warships bug and I've got it bad. This World War II themed warship game from 2015 really snuck up on me, and now I'm starting to have actual dreams about commander builds and strategy meta. Honestly, it's been a while since I've been this hooked on a game, and at just over 500 matches into the game, I'm starting to feel like I'm leaving Noob Town and moving into Mediocre Village. The skill ceiling in this game is extremely high, and the knowledge curve makes Rainbow Six Siege look like a game for toddlers. Do you know the penetration characteristics of a Tier 8 German battleship's broadside armor? Because I sure as heck don't, but if I did, I might have a better idea of where to aim depending on what cannons I'm shooting. Screw it, I'll just play ships that rely on HE rounds to catch everything on fire so I don't have to deal with that knowledge dump quite yet. That's probably the biggest challenge of getting into World of Warships. The more you learn, the more you realize how much you have left to learn. Just when you think you have a new ship type mastered, you unlock the next tier and then start playing against higher rank ships and abilities that you've never seen before. That's a real fun wake-up call to have in this game. You think you're a hotshot destroyer captain, and then you rank up into games where there's 5 ships running radar detection, and you get deleted within the first minute of the match. You'll probably run back to some low-tier games to mend that bruised ego before venturing back into tryhard land. This is, of course, speaking from personal experience. Now, I'd like to make this video a proper review of World of Warships, so I want to talk about the basics of the game, what makes it fun, and then some of the downsides, of which there are definitely some standouts. First of all, what I like most about World of Warships is the competitive format. The main or most popular game mode, called Random Battles, throws you into a 12v12 game with equal ship matchups between each team with a mixture of different ship types for different roles. It's a single elimination format game, so it can either be won by destroying all the enemy ships or hitting 1,000 score before the enemy team does. The rules of each match can shift between Domination, King of the Hill, or TDM with a base capture safety net. Domination is probably the best of these modes and offers the most strategy and aggressive play. You can also join matches with one or more friends to try and complement each other's ship loadouts and enhance your voice comm strategy. Now, you pick a ship before the match starts, then work with your team composition to try and get a win. Rewards are boosted for winning, so there's good incentive to play your best. The more damage, the more captures, the more spots you do, the more score you'll get. The game seems to do a pretty decent job of trying to reward you for playing intelligently. Ship classes play very different from one another, and they really have to work together to get a win. Destroyers are fast, light ships with good concealment, so they're great for capturing points and relaying intel to the rest of your team. Arguably, they're some of the most important ships early and mid-game. Then there are cruisers, which are good support ships for both destroyers and battleships. Depending on which faction you play, you'll have a variety of abilities that can help detect, conceal, or lend some serious firepower to the fight. They're faster and more maneuverable than battleships, so they can potentially move to where they're needed the most. And then there's battleships. These armored behemoths are kind of like the tanks of the sea. They're slow moving, they hit hard, but usually have slow reloads. They have the longest range in the game and the most armor. A good battleship captain can delete a cruiser in a single volley of fire if they're a good shot. And when combining their firepower, they can focus down enemy fleets very fast. And then of course there's carriers, which aren't necessarily matched into every game. Their playstyle is very different and most people find them kind of annoying to play against, but a good carrier captain can provide invaluable intel for their team and harass ships into submission with their planes while also keeping them spotted for their team. Those are the basics of ship playstyles, but with literally hundreds of ships in the game, there are many ship types that kind of break the mold and go outside of their expected roles. So the more you know about the ships, the better you can anticipate their tactics. The ship variety also offers up many different playstyles to keep things fresh, and many maps keep you learning and discovering good hiding spots and flanking angles. Rounds can really come down to the wire, and there are tons of opportunities for crazy plays and epic shots. Rounds get really intense, a lot, and that's a hard thing to achieve when designing a game, but World of Warships has a great formula for casual competitive play and even serious competitive play as they do have ranked battles and clan tournaments. The progression in this game is seemingly endless, which can be both a good and bad thing. The good side is that there's always goals, ones that will give you good upgrades, new combat options, and new ships to earn. The downside is that getting into the game now means you're up against veteran players and their elite commanders and premium ships. World of Warships is a free-to-play game, and the pay mechanics can give you a substantial advantage. I wouldn't necessarily call it a pay-to-win, as you can, in theory, get mostly to a level playing field just by grinding the game. But the grind in World of Warships is unreal. For example, they're running the French Destroyers event right now, which will let you unlock some otherwise paid-for content for free, but to get that content, you'll have to play so many games in such a relatively short period of time that it seems unattainable for anyone not living in their mom's basement. Even as a YouTuber and someone who streams 4 hours a day, I had trouble completing many of the latest event assignments. It's that level of grind. The kind of grind that will have you bail on real-life responsibilities, relationships, and other things just so you can grab that new ship for free. It also has a very aggressive microtransaction model. Say you're picking a new skill point for a commander that you just ranked up, and you accidentally picked the wrong skill upgrade. Oops, now you've got to spend real-world money to fix that mistake, or a crap load of commander XP, which you probably don't have anyway. In a game where I feel experimenting and captain crafting should really be encouraged, the developers have put it behind a paywall, which really grinds my gears. It's like if I'm trying out a secondary build on my Tirpitz battleship and I'm not sure if I like it and I want to try out another build, I gotta spend money to just reallocate the skill points that I've already grinded for. It's really obnoxious, and I think the devs have pushed it a bit far. And even if you could argue that World of Warships isn't necessarily a pay-to-win style game, it's certainly a grind-to-win game, and you can pay to sidestep a lot of that grind. For example, commanders are one of the most important factors that affects your combat performance. Each ship needs a commander. They have ranks from 0 to 19, and the difference between a ship's performance with a, say, level 3 commander versus a level 19 commander is absolutely insane. Commanders can give you increased health pools, higher rates of fire, better concealment, detection of your closest enemy, faster ability recharges, increased fire damage and shell penetration, faster turret turn speeds, longer range guns, resistance to fire damage. The list goes on and on and on. And a 19-point captain can have a ton of those abilities, giving them a huge advantage over lower level players. And the only way to get a level 19 commander is to grind and grind and grind. You can use real world money to buy one that's ranked up to level 10, and there's some extremely grindy missions to unlock ones that I think start at slightly higher ranks, but by that time you'll probably have a rank 19 commander naturally anyway. Even after 500 plus games, my highest ranking commander is rank 14. It is possible that I'd have a rank 19 commander by now if I focused on 1 or 2 commanders alone, but generally speaking you need a lot of different commanders since there's a lot of different ships and each ship needs a unique commander. You can retrain commanders for different ships, but again that will cost you grind time or money or both. I've played many free-to-play games and World of Warships is one of the grindiest. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm all for free-to-play models that work, and World of Warships does work. Matchmaking times are short as there's plenty of people playing the game, and there's often a lot of content and events being added to the game to keep things fresh. So the live service model certainly is working, it's just extremely aggressive. Spending a little money in the game will get you a few nice perks, but really the game seems geared towards whales. People willing to drop $80 on a single premium ship. The asking prices for ship bundles are quite crazy, and it's easy to see how someone could spend thousands in this game every year. I don't like it when free-to-play models go after whales, and World of Warships does this masterfully. Does that make the developers evil? Not necessarily. The game doesn't require you to pay money to keep playing the game, and the more stuff you have, it's actually easier to unlock new content for free. Plus, you don't have to keep spending money to stay competitive like you do in other games such as Hearthstone. Your good premium tier ships that you paid actual money for are going to stay good, so you can just keep playing your favorite ships and not necessarily have to commit anything else to the game. Now, the out-of-game menu user interface could certainly use a bit of work. The store model is confusing, offering different deals in the armory, the premium store, and the online web store, and there seems to be about 1 billion types of currencies and XP that all do different things. Just learning what the best deals are and how to buy stuff in the store is very confusing and daunting, and it actually kept me from even partaking in it until I fully felt comfortable and understood what I was doing. Mission requirements and menus are all over the place, and figuring out what's available and what you should be working on is extremely convoluted. There's collection bundles, there's daily assignments, there's overarching mission assignments, there's missions you have to activate on a website. It's extremely confusing. If you want to play in different regions, you have to request an account transfer, which you can only do so many times. Or just make a new account and then start the grind all over in the new region just so you can play with international friends. The game is also available on the console platform, but it doesn't offer any type of cross-play option or account sharing, so if you want to play on Xbox, you have to start the grind all over again. These are my worst hits against the game, and it could be so much more accessible if the devs just lightened up a bit on trying to monetize every single nook and cranny of their game. But alas, World of Warships seems destined to fall short of perfection because of this aggressive microtransaction system that's probably turning many potential players off of the game. Putting the extremely grindy nature of this game aside, it's still incredibly fun at its core, which can make you forget about the grind altogether. The learning and strategy in this game feels never ending, and I think I'd need 1,000 more hours logged before I even start to consider myself an expert of any sorts. The push and pull strategy of naval combat, luring enemies out of position, using abilities to create concealments and hidden flanks are all extremely fun strategies. One of my favorite things is to launch torpedoes at battleships in this game, or even come around an island to get sort of a surprise torpedo attack on somebody in close range. They're extremely nail-biting, tense moments with high reward, extremely fun payoffs. This game just offers so much strategy, so many intense moments. It's kind of crazy to think that this is a battleship game. You're using slow-moving ships in the ocean, and yet it's one of the more intense competitive games I've played, which I just can't stop playing. The game itself is extremely solid. Not only that, it's been updated many times since its launch, it continues to go through revisions and balance passes. The developers seem dedicated to making this game a fun and balanced and interesting experience, and they're playing around with new mechanics and ideas all the time. So that's my graduated from noobdom review. I look forward to learning more and sharing more experiences with you guys as I continue my journey in World of Warships. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time. This is Level Cap signing off.